A woman from Texas received a notification that her Amazon package has arrived. She's been waiting like 2 whole days for this package, so she was very excited. She opens it up and it's her hair extensions. She immediately puts them on and begins to straighten them. But as she's straightening them, she notices a very weird smell. Not like a burning hair smell, but more of a chemical smell. She looks at the straightener and there's some black sticky residue on the hot plates. The hair extensions were melting. And that woman was me. I was sent fake human hair extensions from Amazon. I had received extensions with a synthetic hair blend, even though the product listing was advertised as 100% Remy virgin human hair. But hair is not the only fake thing being sold on Amazon with the promise of being 100% natural, original, or authentic. If you've ever ordered your favorite perfume and all of a sudden it smells like nothing, or maybe you got your favorite Korean sunscreen brand and it's nothing like you remember, it's probably because you received a fake. No product category is safe. If it can be faked, it probably has been faked. The issue with online shopping used to be how long it would take to receive your stuff. It was very normal to wait days or even weeks for your package. You almost always had to pay for shipping and it was like $5 or $10, and not to mention how inconvenient it was if you ever had to return something. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever returned anything from eBay or any other site that wasn't Amazon. But that might just be me. I was very bad with my money and very lazy when I was younger. Even though online shopping was a very good way to get products that weren't available in stores and you could find some really neat stuff online, it was such an inconvenience at the same time. I rarely ever bought anything online if I could just get it from the physical store the same day. Amazon became the king of online shopping so fast the moment we realized that it was the answer to all our online shopping problems. Super fast delivery, convenient returns, get anything you could ever need all in one site, and my personal favorite was the free 2-day shipping for Prime members. And for a broke kid like I was, the Amazon free trials were definitely a trap. I have no question about that. It was just way too easy to make multiple accounts with different emails and get another month of Amazon Prime for free. Allegedly. I couldn't afford whatever the subscription price was back then, but I had no problem creating new accounts anytime I needed to order something. It was all a setup to get you used to that convenience of super fast delivery, and I fell right for the trap. I was eventually so dependent on Amazon that paying for the yearly subscription felt like an investment to my future. You know, like to save future me from panicking at the mall when I procrastinated on buying the gifts for the baby shower. Those were the peak Amazon days. But now with the rise of fake sales, drop shipping, and private labeling with hiked prices,
I personally can't wait till the lawsuit comes out about Amazon Prime Day and all this false marketing, false advertising going on, because I've been seeing this a lot. People saved their cart in advance for Amazon Prime Day just for it to skyrocket in price. What they're doing is you think you're getting a huge deal, but it was actually, in fact, always that price.
We have a whole new set of issues. Wrong items being received, seeing multiple listings of the same product at different prices, being sold crap quality junk that was falsely advertised, and a lot of counterfeits. Online shopping has almost become more of a nightmare than a convenience. It's almost as daunting and stressful as in-person shopping. I still occasionally go to stores like Target, Michael's, or even the grocery store just for funsies. You know you're getting old when going to the grocery store is the most exciting part of your day. But I almost never online shop out of boredom or just for fun. It's actually the opposite of fun. It's a whole task just to find that phone case I've been needing for weeks. If it wasn't for the wide range of selection that online shopping provides, I don't think I would be ordering stuff from the internet anymore. If you can tell that I'm filming in the restroom, I'm so sorry. I'm literally sitting on the toilet right now. I do live in an RV, so my original spot was too loud because it was in front of the AC. I did put this plant here just to make the scenery a little bit pretty, so hope you like that. What was shopping like before Amazon? It was a bit different. You went to what we now call brick and mortar stores to do your shopping. Most of the major department stores, Sears, JCPenney's, had mail order catalogs that you could order from. You didn't have endless product information at your fingertips, so if you made a major purchase like an appliance or a car, you went with a brand you knew from a retailer you knew or knew of them having a good reputation. They were reliable and the names were trusted. If there was one good thing about brand loyalty, it's that people could rely on the products that they were buying. The brands actually had a reputation to keep with their customers, so they cared about the quality of the products. But Amazon doesn't encourage brand loyalty. Can you even remember any of the brand names of products that you've bought off of Amazon? The brand name doesn't even matter anymore. How could I remember names like Powell-Tens, For the Kind, Soul Wigger, Sequane, Laubis, I don't know. The name doesn't even matter. They just push out whichever version of the product can offer the lowest price, even if you're not getting what you actually paid for. And I know you're probably a little bit jelly of my beautiful, gorgeous long hair, But don't be fooled, I usually wake up with a bird's nest on my head made out of my own hair. I had heard that silk pillowcases could help with this problem, but I never bothered looking for one because I knew that they were expensive. Well, last week I finally caved and I go to Amazon. This was my first mistake. And I search silk pillowcases. And to my surprise, one of the top listings was only like $20 and it had really good reviews. $20 is a really good price and it said 100% pure silk. And I thought, great, why didn't I do this sooner? This was way too easy. Until I click on it and I realized that it wasn't for one pillowcase, it was for two, which would mean that each one is only $10. At that very moment, I went from very pleased and satisfied that I had found such a good price so easily to very doubtful and skeptical. There was no way that pure silk pillowcases could be $10. That is way too cheap. But it literally says very clearly in the title, in the product description, and on the pictures, 100% pure mulberry silk. And mind you, mulberry is supposed to be the highest quality of silk. My instincts were telling me that this was a lie, but I just couldn't get over how confident and insistent they were that it was real. This product had a 4.4 star with over 14,000 reviews. If I just quickly skimmed over the reviews, most of them were positive. The pillowcases were silky, very soft, very shiny, the color was perfect. I'm guessing these reviews came from people that don't really know the difference between silk and satin. Silk is a natural protein fiber made from the cocoons of silkworms. Known for its incredible softness, strength, and luxurious sheen, silk has been a highly prized material for centuries. Produced through a process where silkworm larvae spin cocoons that are then harvested and processed into a thread and fabric. If you didn't know this, I know it sounds very weird that silk is made from worms, but you can imagine why it can be really expensive. Not only is it a natural material, but it's an animal product just like leather or wool. Satin is not a material, but rather a type of weave that creates a fabric with a shiny, smooth surface on one side. Satin can be made of different materials, but if something is labeled as just satin, it's most likely made of polyester or nylon, which is basically the cheapest material you can get. But the issue with this listing is not that they were selling satin made out of polyester or a blend of natural and synthetic materials. It can actually be a good thing to be made out of a synthetic material. To a lot of people, like vegans included, silk production is against their values and they rather get something that's synthetic, and I don't blame them. The way that they produce silk can be very inhumane. The real issue is that this brand, among many others, use terms like 100% real silk to hype up the price of their cheap synthetic product, and deceive uninformed customers into paying more. So I actually ended up buying a set of satin pillowcases for under $10.
I just saved myself $150.
But if I didn't know any better, I would be happy paying double the price for the same product with fake misleading claims. A lot of people would say that it's the customer's fault because they should have done their research, and if it's too good to be true, then they should know that. They should be able to spot that out. I would argue that it's actually Amazon's fault.
Allegedly.
As the #1 online retailer in the world, customers really trust Amazon. It's a very trustworthy site for a lot of different people. My millionaire boss at my day job relies on Amazon just as much as I do. People don't exactly expect to be scammed on this site, so they don't really bother to do their research. The fact that sellers can make such specific and reassuring claims that are complete bullshit is not okay. These are some of the reviews of people that found the bad way after they had purchased the pillowcases and realized they were fake. And so many people were saying that they were fake in the reviews, but all of those reviews get drowned out by the good reviews of people thinking that they got an amazing deal. This person was one of many that did a test. Silk will burn into crushable ash. Synthetics will beat into plastic, which these did. Silk will also eventually dissolve in bleach. Synthetics will remain unchanged, which these did. The pillowcases had failed both tests, and what she says in the end sums it up perfectly. Stop purchasing fraudulent products, stop supporting thieves who are taking money and business away from reputable sellers, and tell Amazon to get some integrity back. And she has every right to be upset. I would be very upset too. She was promised 100% silk, but instead got 100% scam. In case you're not convinced yet, let me show you a few examples and a few reasons why you should be careful when you're shopping on Amazon.
Saffron is the only herb on the entire planet more expensive per pound than diamonds. But because of this, many companies like to take advantage of saffron's popularity by selling fraudulent versions online. So today, I'm going to be exposing Amazon's most popular saffron brands as either real or fake. First up is the cold water test. Real saffron will turn the water bright yellow, whereas fake saffron will have a slight red hue. I also used a microscope to make sure that the saffron threads are shaped like trumpets and not rectangles. It is my professional opinion that scarlet saffron is real, golden saffron is real, Sunbrand saffron is very fake. Do not buy this. Could be horsey.
So in this example, 2 of the brands that he tested were real and 1 of them was fake. I don't know what the reviews were in the one that was fake. It could have been bad reviews. I tried going back to look for it and I couldn't find it, so hopefully they took it down. So obviously things can be real and genuine when you're buying them off of Amazon. You just have to make sure that you do your research into the brands that you're buying. Especially when it comes to things like this that are expensive, a lot of people will try to make fakes of it. And when you're looking at the comments, don't just look at the top comments. Make sure you check the 1-star and the 2-star. If so many people are saying that it's fake, then it probably is fake, especially when people do tests like the ones that he just did.
Have you ever ordered something from Amazon but it turned out to be counterfeit? But it makes no sense because you ordered from a reputable vendor who has a license to sell that product. The reason for that is commingled inventory, and Amazon does not do enough to stop it. Amazon has third-party sellers who choose to have their product orders fulfilled by Amazon. So we could have third-party seller A send all their shampoo, which is legit, to Amazon to be fulfilled, and then third-party seller B, who has fake shampoo, send all their fake shampoos to Amazon, and Amazon puts them all in the same bin. And no matter whose account sells that item, even if it's Amazon's own account, they go into that same bin and pick out shampoo, and it might be fake. Fake ones get lost in the mix with the real ones.
So obviously I don't work at Amazon, so I don't know if this is how they still do it or if they ever actually did it this way. But this could also explain why products of big brands have mixed reviews. Some people saying that it was great, same as always, and then other people saying that it's completely fake and it's not the same product that they're always used to getting. So here's one example with a sunscreen. Beauty in general is a category where I probably would never buy on Amazon because there's a lot of fakes being made, especially in skincare, I think.
Girlies, I'm begging you, do not order skincare from Amazon. Here's why. I ordered sunscreen yesterday because I ran out of my beloved Beauty of Joseon. I have Amazon Prime, same day shipping, next day delivery. It just arrived. What do we think? What do we think now? The toothpaste consistency. Look at this. Look at this. I can go on and on for like 20 minutes. Look. This is not Beauty of Joseon. This is not Beauty of Joseon. $18, guys. My cortisol level just went up. Shame on you, Amazon. You're literally stealing money from people.
Yeah, I've used the Beauty of Joseon sunscreen and whatever she had in that tube is not it. Like she said, that was like a toothpaste consistency. And she did put a lot on her hand. I normally wouldn't use that much, but you could just tell by the color and when she's rubbing it in. They probably took some cheap generic sunscreen and branded it as Beauty of Joseon. At least try to make it similar to the actual product. Why are you putting this toothpaste sunscreen into a Korean brand sunscreen? If you've ever used Korean sunscreens, most of them will not give you this thick white cast. They rub in so nicely. But again, if you've ever ordered Korean sunscreen, you have to get it from a website like Yes Style, and you know that it'll take weeks to arrive. So ordering it on Amazon seems really compelling. You're telling me I can get this in 2 days instead of waiting 2 weeks for it? Yeah, I can see why a lot of people are ordering it on Amazon, but I don't really think it's worth the risk that you might get a real one or you might get a fake one.
Here's the Amazon saga in one video. Basically, I ordered pants that were Free People. I received not Free People pants. They were like unbranded, unlabeled, weird material pants. I sent them back and I stated my reason for return. I received the wrong thing, so I'm sending them back. And they are saying I sent them the wrong thing. They're saying I sent them unlabeled pants. And I'm like, that's what I received. That's why I sent them back. I wasn't going to return the jeans if I got jeans, but I didn't get jeans. So because they claim I sent back the wrong thing, first of all, they never gave me a refund to begin with. The only way I got my actual money back was by contacting my credit card.
Somehow my audio got cut off over here. Did it? No, I muted the clip, stupid. Oh my gosh, hold on. I find it very concerning that they didn't believe her. And obviously not everyone tells the truth. There is people that lie and might send fake pants back when they receive the real thing. But that doesn't disprove the people that actually did receive the wrong thing. You can't just pick and choose who you believe and who you don't, because at the end of the day, you don't know. I recently ordered my favorite xylitol gum on Amazon. I ordered a few packs of them and one of them was completely expired. It was like 2-3 years expired. I immediately contacted Amazon and I requested my refund, and I received my refund, no questions asked. This one to me was the most shocking. This is crazy.
So I'm not sure if you've been following, but I bought a pair of Apple AirPods Max from Amazon.com. They were sold by Amazon and shipped by Amazon, so they were not sold from a third party. Anyway, I found out they were counterfeit because they were not charging anymore, so I took them to Apple to have them repaired, and that's who told me that they were counterfeit. So what did Amazon do with my fake Apple AirPods Max? I immediately contacted Amazon and asked them what the hell was going on. Sorry, I paid $600 with tax. I paid a full retail price for them. There should have been no way that I received a counterfeit pair. So what did Amazon do? Well, they immediately shipped me another pair. And that's why you see 2 pair here.
This person was lucky and they did believe them and send them another pair, which good for them. I would be pissed if I just paid $300 and got sent a fake pair of headphones. Can you imagine? A lot of these products that are fake, you can tell because the price will be marked down or it'll just be completely way too cheap for what it is. But they were charging retail price for these. So you really cannot tell by the price that it's fake. They did send her another pair, so props to them for that. I am by no means against fake stuff. I own a lot of fake stuff too. Some brands and some products are just overpriced, right? For no reason. So being able to have a dupe is great. It's a good thing. For example, I have these leggings that I got years ago when Gymshark was all the rage. These are the real ones. I'm trying to show you without, right? You can see the brand right there. And I love these. I love the color. I love the stretchiness. Let me put this mic down so I can show you. I loved how thick this band was, the stretchiness. And then the leggings themselves are pretty thick, which I really like. I don't like those very thin leggings where you can see everything through them. But obviously, Gymshark, I don't know what the prices are now, but back then it wasn't cheap at all. Or at least not to me at the time. So I did get these off of Amazon. And you can see it's like kind of the same concept. It has the scrunch butt, same camo look, same kind of like muted color. The band is thick. The actual legging material is pretty thick. Same features that I really loved about the other leggings, except these were probably like $10 on Amazon, whereas the other one I probably paid like double or triple the price. So when it comes to things like that, I love my dupes. I love my fakes, right? But the real issue is when products are actually claiming to be the real thing, or they actually put the brand name on it. They make these very specific claims saying that it's original or that it's real or that it's natural or that is like, they make the specific claim to deceive people. And I think this is what really gets people, because they're not expecting these like very...
A few moments later.
They're not expecting these very specific, confident, and reassuring claims for products that are fake. And as much as I like Amazon, I've tried to reduce my consumption as much as I possibly can, but I still really rely on them for the convenience of being able to order anything and have it here by the next day or the next 2 days. I'm also not trying to deter you from Amazon altogether, because like I said, I know how convenient it can be. I'm just saying that when it comes to brands making these claims, don't always believe them. Do your research and maybe check other sellers. There could be some really good reputable sellers. Check the reviews, check all of the reviews. I'm sure there's some really good and honest sellers on Amazon, but just make sure that you're buying from one of them and not one of the scammers, because you don't want to be promoting and rewarding this scamming behavior. Okay, well, that's all I had for this video, and let me know what your experiences have been. Have you ever been scammed like this, or have you ever ordered something that turned out to be fake? And also, if you made it to the end of this video, I would like to know how you got here and how you found my video. And thank you for watching. Bye!